allows in the VNT law, it allows the towns
Right.
to override anything based upon public safety and put their own signage up where they think they need it, something like that.
Okay.
That's like a summary.
Okay. Thanks everybody for coming. We're going to get started. Yeah, we're going to start it out with the work session tonight. Start off first with the budget modifications. Everybody get a chance to look at them.
Yes.
Any questions? No. All right. Next, we have a public hearing tonight for the Westbrookville Fire Department contract renewal. Anybody wants to talk during that public hearing, more than welcome to. Next, the town tree bid work. We accepted the bid yesterday. The same gentleman that did it the first time won the bid again. Actually, we had 3 this time, and he was the lowest bid. So he worked really well with the town last time. Tommy was very impressed with them. So they got a lot of stuff done. Any questions? We sent that to everybody. Yes, everybody get a chance to look at it. Yeah. Next is a camper request extension for Walker Lane. This couple came in. Monica, I'm sorry, I'm gonna screw up the name. The Blazinski came in. We gave her a 6-month thing to have her RV camper at her house for when they come and use as a workstation for like bathroom and stuff like that. It expires at the end of this month. She's asking for another extension till 08/24 of 26, so another year and a half. So, we talked to her before that date about, come back to us, and we decided to see where they got and everything else. So, anybody have any thoughts on this? Yeah.
That's what I asked you that. It's like that's
Yeah.
Their bill permit expires.
Yes, it says the extension expiration on their bill and permit expires that date.
In their defense, I drove by and, the permit was, we gave that sometime in late October.
October, right?
Immediately preceded after that, we went into winter. So probably the worst 6 months to give permission for, where not an awful lot was going on, but I see that there's a foundation there that we've installed. There's a excavator on site, trailer's tucked away. It wasn't offensive or put in a weird place. I certainly think we should give her something. How long is everybody?
Okay.
I would agree with that. I think once 6 months from now, we're bringing us to the end of to early fall.
Right. October.
And we kind of can see what could really.
How much they can get accomplished in the summer.
Yep.
So
That's just my thought.
anybody else, Jim? What do you think?
I looked at it. It's a very unique situation because it's at a dead end road. Nobody really goes there except fishermen to go down and fish the state property. I talked to a neighbor right across the street who said it wasn't a problem for her. But I don't think we should extend it all the way to the end of the building permit. Give them the summer, and then we have to, see how far along they're getting. It looks like they got a lot done so far. They got a machine there too.
Yeah, we've done this one other time on 209, and that gentleman never really got anything done and just kept getting extensions, and we ended up discontinuing that. So he's finally, he left last summer. We got rid of him last summer, but
Seems like this is a different case, though, Mike, right? It seems like there's progress.
Yeah.
Right.
like I said, if the board's okay, maybe we can just go 6 more months and revisit it.
I'm good with that.
I think that's a reasonable approach.
You guys know,
There's no additional charge to them to.
No. So, all right, well, when it comes to that, we'll address that during that. Next is appoint Benjamin Worth to the Board of Assessment Review. So we put this out 2 weeks ago to get another person on the board. Benjamin was the only one that came forth and sent us an application. I sent it to everybody, so everybody had a chance to look at it.
Yes.
I met with him, you know, good guy, recommended highly from Dave Lewis, who's also on the zoning board. So if anybody has any questions, I know Benjamin's here tonight. If anybody has any questions for him, and then, you know, we'll move on from that. And next is the flea market at the town hall. We mentioned this last month. Talked to the lady. Actually, I think she was going to be here. Yep, there she is. Emma's here. So if anybody has any questions for her, we're willing to do that. You know, we would just have to come up with a fee for what it's worth every week. You know, I think you had said that Beacon's like 200 and something, right? So, you know, if we wanted to try it out and only did like 200 right off the bat and see how it works to make sure. And then, you know, we can get things rolling.
I expressed my opinion before, but Emma sounds like she knows what she's doing, and I can't see any negatives, because I think it'd be a positive thing for the town. I think everybody loves it.
Yeah. So Emma,
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Emma, if you wanted to, in public comment of the work session, you can come up and kind of say some things about your flea market if you would like. Go ahead, Jim.
Would local business owners get a preferential shot if they wanted to open a, you know, one of the booths or sell stuff here? Because you're selling, it says you're going to sell wares. We actually have a store called Wurtsboro Wares. So I'd hate to see you selling the same exact thing and drawing business away from the village.
Well, no, Emma, wait until the public comment and then we'll answer that. Okay, and that's the last thing. There was something on the work session and, you know, our agenda for the MLDC letter. We did receive a letter from the MLDC on Friday for some recommendations for some changes, but Ben's still looking into a few things, so we're gonna table it until the May 6th meeting. So Ben's got some work to do that he needs to look into. So before we bring it out to the public and stuff, so. All right, with that being said, can we call the order of pledge of allegiance?
The flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, to start off, we're gonna have the public hearing for the Westbrookville Fire Department. If anybody has anything to say about Westbrookville or about the contract, they're more welcome. Go ahead, Warren, right up to the mic. Yep.
Edward Bloom, and I'm a director.
Yeah.
Frank Giraldi's president. and-
Just talking to the mic. They can't see you on Zoom or hear you on Zoom.
Okay, Edward Bloom, I'm director. Frank Giraldi, he's president and a director. I just appreciate you giving us the opportunity to come here. Feel free at any given time, any questions. And the reason why, you know, we're struggling. There's no insurance is killing us, absolutely killing us. And I'm trying everything we can do to cut costs, and it's a tough, it's a juggle. Anybody, the ambulance, it's tough. And I appreciate Karen doing the graciously notarizing our paperwork. But if anybody have any questions or anything, feel free to drop us a note, and we are working And I think I discussed that with you at the office with this state finance situation. It's a mountain of paperwork. We're starting to wade through it and it's gonna go. We're trying to get a proposal from a CPA firm, for the auditing and all that stuff is $5,000 to $7,000. I'm just trying to, I just can't keep pulling these numbers out of my hat, but I do appreciate you working with us and.
Okay. Yeah, you're a very important part of Westbrookville, the firehouse.
I'm trying,
So,
and,
yep.
just hurts that the younger generation doesn't, and plus there's no place for them to live, once
Yes.
they graduate high school.
Yeah.
Well, that's a real tough thing.
Yeah.
But, appreciate you letting us come down here and hopefully if you have any questions, please reach out to Frank, myself, and we'd be happy to address it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You got their
Okay.
numbers, Mike?
Yeah.
You got their contact?
Okay, you're good. Warren. If you want to stay around for the vote later, then you can sign everything. We'll sign. Yeah, yeah. No sense of you coming back. Yeah. Anybody else have anything about the Westbrookville Fire Company that would like to say anything? Brittany, you have anybody online?
I do not.
Hey.
Anybody out there want to volunteer?
Yeah. Could I get a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Matt. Second by Tyler. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next is public comment, 3 minutes each individual, 30-minute max for anything in the work session. Emma, if you want to come up.
Hi, good evening, everybody. So my name is Emma Dewing. I've been running the flea market in Beacon for 15 years. This will be my 15th year. I started the market back in 2011. I had a business partner at the time, but I took it on my own a year later when he decided he just couldn't hack it. And it's been my baby ever since then. And I have stuck it out through thick and thin. I really care deeply about it. So it's a Sunday market specifically because it's in a parking lot right in the center of Beacon, and it's a health center right there. So the parking lot's full on Saturday. So it's always a Sunday market. It's always going to be a Sunday market. It is what it is. It's right off Main Street. So I don't have any vendors there that compete directly with anything on Main Street, which includes food. No beverages, no Girl Scout cookies, nothing. Because when we opened the market back in 2011, it was really a big concern that businesses on Main Street were already struggling, and they didn't want anything to take away from them. So the idea was to bring people into town to help sustain that Main Street and build that Main Street up, which is exactly over 15 years is exactly what's happened. Obviously not just the market. There's lots of things have been happening in Beacon, but that was a good start. So what I'm proposing to do here is to open a Saturday market because I happen to have Saturdays available, and do it right here, right off the 113, right on 209, get some of that through traffic going from Pennsylvania and from Western New York going over to the Catskills, and try and bring that trade coming past here and into Wurtsboro. If we make them really hungry and thirsty visiting the flea market, maybe they'll make it into Wurtsboro and go and have lunch. I don't allow, in Beacon, I don't allow any new merchandise at all. It's kind of a thing for me, I think, probably because I'm English. But our flea markets are usually pretty secondhandy, vintage, collectibles, that kind of stuff. I don't like the new stuff. So I don't do that in Beacon, and it works really well. So I'd be proposing something similar here. But I would like to give, because it's a new market, it would need to have a moment to kind of establish itself. So it's really great for yard sale, clean out, that kind of thing. So there would be that secondhand element, but it's still not going to be brand new. It's not keychains, it's not socks, it's not soaps, it's not wax candles, it's not nothing smelly. Yeah, that's kind of, I have, as you can tell, I have rules and regulations, because I have standards, and the market needs to have standards. It needs to bring in the right kind of trade, right, for what we need here. So that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay.
So I can do it standing on my head. I've been doing it for a while. I love it, as you know, as I said before. So if you have any questions or concerns, fire back because I'm
Okay.
here.
Sounds good, Emma. All right,
Okay.
thank you. And like I say, you're gonna stay around if
I'll be here.
people want to talk to you afterwards.
Absolutely. I'll be
Okay.
here.
Can I ask you
Yeah.
one question, Emma?
Of course.
Are you gonna be featuring antiques, like things like old clocks and,
Absolutely.
okay.
Are you a clock collector?
I used to be. I'm collecting.
You might get
you might
might get you to
switch
come
out.
I'm
back.
set with my collection for now. I'll
You
put
can
it
either
that
break
way.
it up and start collecting again, or you can start bringing your collection and selling it. So, you know, there's still an interest in them.
What would you name it? What would it
That's a
be
really good
called?
question. So I was thinking Wurtsboro, but I know that this is Tanamamacating here, and maybe we want something a bit closer to home. But it has to be location relative because people have a hard time with where certain things are up here. So I would welcome any suggestions, really.
Okay.
It would be really helpful.
All right.
I mean, Bashakil Flea Market, Tanamamacating Flea Market, Wurtsboro Flea Market. I mean, whatever makes this location sort of stick is what we're looking for.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll get together as a board and get some ideas.
awesome.
We'll send them your way.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Em.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else have anything? Okay. Okay.
Hi, Monica Duritska.
I wasn't even close.
That's okay. That's absolutely fine. It's about the RV. We heard what you said before about, I only put that till the end of the, building permit, because that just, date. But if anything, could we extend it for a year until next spring? So that just gives us, the mobility of actually doing stuff, getting everything done. So, we don't have to go back and forth.
Yeah, but like I said, we'd like to see, we don't want to set a precedence. So,
Understand?
we
Understand.
want to see where you go in 6 months and then, you see where we might have to be then. It's like I said, we don't want to set a precedence, but
Can I ask a question? Where do you live now?
We live on Long Island.
Okay, so to come up here on a Tuesday night is annoying.
Well, I had to take off work because I work evenings.
So
So this is my middle of my work day.
it almost pushes me to go back to the building permit. You're asking her to take off work because we want to see if work's getting done. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just, I don't know. I think the year's fine if you guys want to give it not to the end of the building permit.
we'll see how the board.
We don't want to stretch it out because we ourselves want to get the house.
Get it
built as
going,
soon as
too.
possible. We're actually waiting for the logs to be delivered. They're coming from South Carolina, so unfortunately, because of the hurricanes that they had, and actually they had snow and freeze this winter. So everything is backed up. So they should have been here by now, but unfortunately, because of all the stuff that happened down there, they're about 30 to 45 days delayed. So we're hoping sometime in May, the logs are gonna be here and we can continue.
Okay.
So we're hoping at least 4 walls are gonna be here.
You have a projection? Are you feeling confident? You happy with the progress you're making so far? It sounds, besides being frustrated at the supply chain.
Well, we kind of thought that there wouldn't be so much freeze and more would have been done. But, it is what it is. We can influence weather. So, whatever happened, but, we got stuff already done. Mary came out, she inspected, everything is up to date. We're just waiting for, more concrete to be poured and the logs to come in. So that's, within the next 2 weeks. We're hoping everything is gonna be prepped for the logs to be delivered.
Once they're here, are you?
They have to be installed right away.
Because they probably
It's the
weather.
nature of the material, it has to be done right away. Hence, the excavator and everything, because they're pretty heavy. So, we need help with that.
So there's gonna be a
that's-
ton of progress as soon as they're delivered.
I'm sorry?
So there'll be a lot of progress once they're delivered.
Yes. Well, the outside walls are gonna be in, because that's what it is, and then the roof is gonna have to come out. So at least that's gonna be done, and then we can move inside and do work inside. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Anybody else, public comment? Go ahead, John.
I'm John Lacey from Wardsboro Hills. I have 3 questions, 2 on the abstract. The bus trip for the Yankee game, is that 2 or 3 buses?
2.
2, okay. The new time clocks on abstract, you spent $2,600 on a new time clock punch-in system. Is that an update or a new system entirely?
It's a new system for the highway department. It's not for this building. So it's just
It's
for-
all, so $2,600 for the system.
Yeah.
Is for the highway department?
Yep.
Okay, the last question is, this flea market, is there going to be any expense to the town employees?
No.
Or the budget?
Nope.
Who's responsible for the cleanup?
Emma is. Yep.
Okay. Is it going to be in the parking lot out front?
Yep.
Okay,
And she will supply a porta potty, so nobody has to come in. And then she removes the porta potty the next day.
okay. All right, thank you.
Thanks, John. Thank you. Chris, go ahead.
I am Chris Lester, and I think I mentioned this a few times. I think so now we have a new appointment, Benjamin Worth to the Board of Assessment Review. I think, as I've said numerous times, that person, if he's here, should be up here and introduce himself.
I will.
So we-
When we get to awarding them, I'll bring them up and introduce.
Did I hear that correctly, that he's on the zoning board?
No. Dave Lewis, who's on the zoning board, recommended him very highly.
Okay.
Okay? Thanks, Chris. Anybody else have anything? No? Brittany, you have anybody online?
I do not.
Okay. Next, highway superintendent report.
Okay, I report on town board meeting April 15th. Crews have been out cleaning ditches and culverts the last few weeks, as well as making repairs to pipes and ditches. Hopefully the cold is on the way out. With more spring-like weather on the way, we have started and will continue to sweep the roads throughout the town in upcoming weeks. We are also starting the prep work on the roads up for reconstruction this year. We have about 8 miles of road to resurface this year. The number, of course, is dependent on the CHIPS funds allocated to us. We will know that number once the state passes the budget, hopefully soon. And with the snow gone, the large amount of garbage on the roadside is evident more than ever. We are working on to get what we can cleaned up. Pine Bush Schools to have a litter pluck of Rooster Gap Road that will be on 419. Additionally, we have coupons at the office for residents who pick up garbage, so they do not need to pay at the landfill. We will hand out bags as well. Every little bit helps. Respectfully submitted, Thomas Morrow, Superintendent of Highways.
Thanks, John. Supervisor report. I really only got one thing. The kayak grand opening is going to be April 26th at 2 p.m. It's the same day as the Basher Kill cleanup. So they'll be doing it in the morning, and then we'll have the grand opening on the 26th in the afternoon. Snacks and, cookies and stuff will be served at the thing also. And it looks like me and Lori are going to probably be the first ones out on the kayaks. Okay. And then, anybody who wants to come out that day, they're more than welcome. So we're going to have hopefully a lot of people there and try them out. So that's all I really have for my report today. It's nice out, so everybody get out and try the trails. They're all drying out pretty nicely, so. Next is the 2025 abstract number 8 for $102,884.98. Everybody get a chance to look at it?
Yes.
Motion.
Motion by Tyler,
Second.
second by John Roofer. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, financial reports. Anybody have any questions about them?
On page 2 for the engineering expenses.
Yeah.
Are we really $18,000 over budget and then 4 months into the year?
Yes, and that's because of the FEMA stuff. So, which will, be taken care of when FEMA finishes the whole project. Yeah, the administrative stuff. Yep. Anybody else have anything? No. All right, can I get a motion to accept the financial reports? Motion by Gary,
Second.
second by Matt. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approve the minutes of 1/4/25.
Motion.
Motion by Matt,
Second.
second by Peter. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so the resolutions, approve the budget modifications. Motion by Tyler. Second by Peter, all in favor?
Aye.
Approve the Westbrookville Fire Department contract renewal. Did I hear someone?
Motion by Gary.
Gary. Motion
And,
by
I'll
Gary,
second.
second by Matt, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, approve the bid for tree work to Tree Innovations for $2,500 a day.
Motion to approve bid for the tree work.
Second.
All right, motion by Peter, second by John Roofer, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, approve requests for extension for the camper on Walker Lane. So what's your opinion? I know we said 6 and Tyler's pushing for 1. And anybody have any others?
I'm kind of in line with what James and John said in regards to a 6-month extension, which would take us to what, the end of October?
Yeah,
And,
Right on.
that's kind of near the tail end of building season and let's, I don't think the lady needs to stop by in person. Maybe she can ask for the extension over Zoom or something. So
Yes.
if we can work something out like that, I'd be in favor of that.
You don't want to be a hardship.
Okay. Gary, what's your thought?
I don't have any problem with 6 months. I really don't have a huge problem with the year. For most of that year, it's gonna be winter. Gonna be winter and there's not gonna be any construction done anyway. I was just wondering, once the logs are delivered and if you had a rough idea as far as a timeline to get the house up and a roof on it, is that something that could be done by, say, the end of October?
They're hoping. It depends on what she said before about, time schedules.
Imagine if the locks get delayed another month. I've been there 1,000 times. We're giving her a 6-month timeline to get progress done, but she might not get progress because she doesn't get the locks.
Right. Jim?
It puts pressure on them to get work done and at least make progress anyway. And I think what we have to worry about is other people coming to the board saying that, well, you gave them a 1.5 years and how come you won't give us a 1.5 years? I don't see it being a problem extending it if they, if they show progress and we don't get any complaints.
Okay, well, so based on what everybody thinks, Monica, we're gonna do 6 months right off the bat, and then just come back to us with and you don't have to come to the meeting next time. Call in and we'll try and get something else more for you. If it might only be a couple months after that, hopefully, so you don't have to go in the winter. So, but first we're gonna do the 6 months extension. Okay, can I get a motion to do a 6-month extension for the camper on Walker Lane?
Motion to give a 6 months extension for the camper on Walker Lane.
Motion by John Roofer,
Second.
second by Matt. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And yes, I'm opposed. I'm not gonna vote no.
All right.
You got it.
right. Next, approve appointment of Benjamin Worth to the Board of Assessment Review for the term ending in 9/30/26.
Can we have Benjamin come up and speak before we,
Benjamin, would you mind coming up?
Good evening. My name is Benjamin Worth. I am pleased to be here tonight, and I've been a part of this community in the Tri-County area for quite some time. And I'm very excited to spend my time in the town of Mamakating.
Okay.
So, thank
And
you very much.
yeah, so the classes start pretty soon, so we'll be in touch with you
Yes,
about that and kind of get you going. So,
excellent.
all right. Can I get a motion to approve, Benjamin?
Motion.
Motion by Tyler. Second by Peter. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody have any more questions for Benjamin?
I do, but so what made you want to help out? What's your thought?
I'm a union iron worker down in Manhattan, and I am like very big into, very big union guy. So I'd like to, spend my free time in the community and helping the community out. So,
Are you gonna have problems making the meetings if you're working down in Manhattan?
no,
Okay. Thank you for stepping up, Benjamin.
Absolutely.
thank you.
Benjamin.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
welcome.
All right. Next, approved a flea market at the town hall. With
Yeah,
the
subject to
condition,
a contract approved by the attorney and the
Right.
town supervisor.
right? Okay.
Motion to approve the flea market. Absolutely.
Second.
All right. Motion by Peter, second by John Roofer. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next, committee reports. Anybody have any committee reports? No, none tonight.
No, I haven't.
Like I said, the only one I know is for the meek is the kayak, grand opening. We didn't get anything from Jackie yet on anything else, but just look at our website. It has a lot of stuff on there. Just not in our town. Brittany updates everything through the whole county. We get a lot of stuff throughout the day to put on there, and she shares. And so there is something happening in Huguenot and Cutterbackville for a member of the Westbrookville Fire Department's one of their members just passed. They're having a fundraiser for the family. It's a cheesesteak dinner. Takeout though, right, Warren? Oh, you can eat in now too. Okay. So that's on May 2nd. It's a Friday night. I actually went to the wake the other night for this gentleman. It was heartbreaking to see a young man like that and have his two little girls there. And it was touching, some of the stuff that happened, but so sad.
When is the dinner?
May 2nd.
What time?
Actually, it's on our website also. 6 o'clock or 5, 6 to 9. So, yeah. So be nice to have your support for the family that had a huge loss. So, any other committees? Anybody else? Jimmy, got anything from state police?
I talked to them today. They had nothing,
Okay.
which is a good thing still, I guess. He's going to be more in tuned on knowing when the meetings are and either attend them or send a report over.
Okay. All right. Announcements.
Had a Ward 4 meeting last week. Very well attended. I want to thank everybody who came out. It was a lively discussion. For those who didn't make it, come to the next one. We have a good time, and the cookies are good.
Anybody else? No, Verdana's not here, so I will bring up something for Verdana. And Dave, they brought to my attention the other day, they would like to put something in the hallway, like to show some of the artifacts of the town of Mamakating in the hallway. And so people that come to town hall could see it and maybe want to join more the historical society or stuff like that. And, Dave's taking this on himself. Redan is helping him. So, hopefully that'll get started here soon. All right, so we'll move on to public comment, 3 minutes each individual, for any new business, if anybody has any new business. Go ahead, Lori.
So this month, Sci-Fi with the Science Guy will be at the Mamakating Library at 5 p.m. on Thursday. This month, we're featuring Invaders from Mars, a 1953 classic, and we'll have a little discussion about the movie and also the science. Is there actually life on Mars? And of course, we'll have popcorn.
Thanks, Lori. Anybody else? No? All right. Brittany, you have anybody online? Oh, go ahead, Chris.
I'll ramble a little bit because there's a lot of information here about what the county wants to do because they deem it necessary for their local law designating affordable housing as a Sullivan County purpose. And what they're proposing, which I know damn well they're going to do, because once it comes out in a publication or even mentioned at the legislative hearing, it's a done deal. Okay, which one is that on? That's the other one. There's no, anyway, I'll shorten it up. What they're looking for, I'm not going to read all of this, is 10 new housing units with a maximum award of $1 million available. They're going to be looking for a program for someone to potential partners with this deal. So that's in essence of what it is. They're not going to listen to anybody. I don't even know why they have a public hearing. It's already, in my opinion, it's already preordained. So this is going to be for people with low, comma, very low, comma, low or moderate income. I have no idea what that income is and how in the world are they going to get it. I'll call it a near free housing unit to pay for all this stuff. So this also falls under a budget, or I guess it doesn't, because the budget has gone astronomical. And I'll just read the budget for 2013 was 195 million. So it got up to 217 million for a proposed budget for 2017, which was $10 million more than what was proposed for the tax of 2016. But it really doesn't make any difference to any of the legislators. And all the years I've been going there, it just goes ka-ching, 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 higher and higher. And we have another issue that I guess we're sort of familiar with, but sometimes we forget. The Faith-Based Affordable Housing Act. I'm not going to read the numbers and all that stuff. FBAHA shortened up. So what this basically means, unless I interpret it wrong, is so if there's a religious faction, pick a number, 20 acres or whatever the acreage is, and they deem it necessary, what this says, if this passes by our great governor, if this passes.
How many houses per unit are they talking about?
So far, I don't know. I've wanted the same thing, and maybe if I can get up there, maybe if some of the public can get up there, I really would love to see 30 or 40 people up there, which will never happen. Maybe if you gave free pizza and beer away, maybe that might be the only way to have it. Yeah, I'm lucky I'll make it up there by, they're going to have it at 10 o'clock in the morning. So anyway, like I said, what this is so if there's a religious retreat, a religious faction, a religious building or whatever, and they have land that with this, when and if it passes, that they can go ahead and build what they want on there. So I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to read all this stuff here because I don't want to take up everybody's time, but I'd like to see somebody come up there and question this. And there's another thing there that I don't know whether they'll adhere to that. There's another, I'll call it a person, wants to combine a couple properties up in Monticello. And they want to put in a 10 unit, similar to this. So I'm going to see if I can't mention that up there, that could they consider taking this same 10-unit place that's already proposed, going before the planning board, if that's possible. There's different things there that they also have, which this land bank. So land bank is already trying to take and develop some of the spots. They come before the legislative hearing on Monticello and Broadway. So I just wondered, does anybody look at what the right hand is doing up there? Sometimes it just, you listen, you went, hello, what? So I don't really understand what's going on up there. Maybe I never will, but I'd like to see somebody come up there. Somebody wants to read all of this stuff. I've summarized it, I hope.
Okay,
Hey,
thanks, Chris. Thanks for the info.
When was that hearing on the potential zone busting?
The zone what?
Zone busting, zoning busting, religious exemption?
I don't know.
Is it at the county?
I don't know how to answer that because I don't know.
I believe it's a statewide initiative. It's been floating around on social media for the past 6 months.
State-
But it's definitely, I mean, if there's a religious purpose to it, it would just override or just plow right through everybody's zoning laws.
Is this-
I think if it gets approved by the state, you're gonna see a lot of publicity.
Well, that's what-
You're gonna have a lot of people on.
That's what a lot of this
Faith-based housing.
faith-based,
It seems to come up every year now. It gets voted down and then it comes up every year.
well, there's another faction going around about, well, I thought that was the same one so far as illegal voting, but that's another issue. But anyway, I think that pretty much is what Peter's talking about, where they come around and stuff. And I guess it's up to our governor now to veto it. Imagine that.
Thanks, Chris, for the info. And hopefully we can work something out. We'll try and get up there. Okay. All right, anybody else? No? Brittany, do you have anybody online?
I do not.
Okay, we do not have an executive session tonight, so can I get a motion to adjourn? Motion by Tyler. Second by Peter, all in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, everybody, for coming. We'll see you on May 6th.